Perfect.
Okay, well, hi everybody. My name is Laurel Teal, and I work in employment and student entrepreneurial services. So today I'm just going to tell you about what we offer to you as students, and everything that I'm going to talk about today you can start accessing now, whether you're here or you are in your home country. So please keep that in mind as we walk through this, because everything we do to ensure your success while you're at Fanshawe, and also in preparing you for work once you're done. So that's what we're going to kind of discuss here today. So basically what our department does is we help you find employment through different services. So everybody has access to career services. If you are in a program that has a co-op component to it, we are also cooperative education. And then community employment is a local agency that helps people that are not as applicable to today. And then Leap Junction is a entrepreneurial service. So is Leap Junction part of this presentation at all? No, if you're not, okay. Just quickly, I'll touch on that. If you have a business idea and when you get to Fanshawe, you want to explore how you can make that business idea come to life, Leap Junction is an amazing service that supports people with establishing and helping you start up a business. So just keep that in mind, that they can cover that for you. Okay, so career services, which I suggest getting in touch now. I'm going to talk a little bit more about later about how we are going to be hosting some different events that you'll probably be interested in. But what we do in career services is we help students explore career options and become job ready. And how we do that is we support you in being responsible for your job search, but we help you review your resume and your cover letter. And I strongly suggest you make an effort to connect with us about this at some point over your time at Fanshawe, because resumes, as I've learned in the job, look different in every country. So if you want to, when you come to Canada and you want to even get a part-time job, there's different ways that resumes look in Canada. So if you want a review of that and you want tips and you want to improve it so that you can be successful in that job search, I strongly encourage you to connect with a career consultant, which I will talk about how to do that in a bit. We support you in job searching, kind of direct you into different websites and job sites. And if we've seen signs, like our team is very active in sharing where we see people hiring. So we will often share the same news on our different social media channels and things like that. We also do mock interviews. So if you've never had a job before, or you want to know kind of what to expect when you get to Canada in terms of a job search or an interview, you can do a practice with a career consultant. So it's a really, really good service, I think, because I know interviews can sometimes be nerve-wracking, and our nerves sometimes get the best of us. So if you can have a little ease your nerves and your stress a bit by practicing with a consultant, sometimes it can be really helpful. We also do a lot of events and support around networking, whether that's creating a LinkedIn profile, or you are going to attend an event. Likely they'll all be virtual this year, but I do know that they're still happening in the community. We can talk about tips on being effective in doing that. LinkedIn and social media. So like I said, we post all kinds of stuff on our social media channels, so Facebook and Twitter. And we also, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I would suggest getting one up and running now, because it's really effective in connecting, learning about opportunities, learning about what's happening in your industry, just so that you can be on top of everything once you're ready to start looking for work. Career Services also does career exploration and assessment. So perhaps you're here, you find yourself in a program, it just wasn't what you thought it was going to be. You know you want to study something else, but you're not sure what. We can do different career exploration and assessment exercises with you that will help you choose a program that really fits with who you are, what your values are, what your goals are, all of those things. So Keep that in mind if it happens to be a case for you in the future. All of the services that I just talked about with career are able to be discussed one-to-one with virtual appointments. So I think the next slide has a link to the list of career consultants. So if you want to start now and you think, oh, I really want my resume looked at, I want to meet one-to-one with my career consultant, everybody is available virtually, whether it's over Zoom, Skype, phone. They're pretty flexible with how they'll meet virtually with you, and everyone on the team is eager to help. So feel free to send them an email and get connected with them. So the link here, you can access the career consultant. So every consultant supports different programs. So you'll have a specific contact for your program. So I encourage you to check that out there. There's also a general email, career@fanshawec.ca, which will be on that list. If you're just not sure and you want to just tell the career inbox what program you're in, and they can get you connected as well. Okay. Co-op education. So this isn't applicable to everybody, but if you are in a co-op program, I do have some information to share with you. You have a dedicated co-op consultant who helps you with your job search and being successful in finding co-op work terms. So it starts basically from, first semester, because you will be in a course called Co-op 1020. If you are in a co-op program, you cannot do a co-op work term until you completed 2 academic levels. So if you are starting in September, that means you would be eligible for your first co-op in the summer, next summer. So
Laurel, just a question on that. So if we are studying online, how would the co-op services help us? Would it be difficult to find a co-op for that?
Yeah, so like right now, if you're studying online, you won't be looking for a co-op, but you will be enrolled in the Co-op 1020 course. So in Co-op 1020, they go through everything that you need to know for co-op. So talking about co-op work permits, talking about how to job search, talking about the job site and where you find and can research different co-op opportunities for your level. So you will study in the fall, you'll study in winter, and then you'd be eligible as long as you pass Co-op 1020 and have a minimum GPA of 2.5 to go out on your first work term in the summer. Now, typically, and this has maybe changed a little bit, in the past, students have been able to do co-ops anywhere in the world. Now, I don't know if COVID has impacted that a little bit. I am working as a co-op consultant right now, but I'm still very new and haven't had this come up yet. So if it's something I need to explore and get back to you, I'll be happy to share that information. But when you are on a work term, when that comes time for you, co-op consultants will do virtual site visits. Typically we would visit in person, but right now we can't. So we would connect with you to make sure everything's going well, that you're learning, and that you're able to apply what you have learned in the classroom to the work world, which is a huge proponent of co-op and why it exists and why it's so amazing. And then we would also need to be able to connect with employers to get an evaluation from them, just as part of a work term. So just keep that in mind as well. But I know in the past, students have done their co-ops in other countries, other cities. They go to where the opportunities are that are going to help them on their future career path. And that is the big thing with co-op, and any opportunity that you find. Even if it's a part-time job, there's going to be ways you can talk about those experiences that will hopefully be able to help you in your future career. We market your program to industry-related professionals. So co-op consultants work with you to help you prepare for your job search, but we also continuously connect and network with employers to help generate opportunities. What we don't do in co-op or career is take your resume and apply to jobs for you. Ultimately, you are responsible for your own job search, but we are here to support you always through that, okay?
So would it be difficult to find a job if I'm from my home country and not in Canada for co-op?
Like if you are going, like, are you thinking to work remotely for an employer, or like find a co-op in your home country, or what do you, can you just clarify?
Like finding a co-op opportunity when I come to Canada.
Yep. So when you, like, if you want to find a co-op when you come to Canada, I would just start searching early. And again, keep in touch with your co-op consultant. Make sure your resume is kind of up to date and, you know, really explains your skill set really well and how it aligns with the job. Also, you want to talk about what you're learning in your courses and how you can apply that to the workplace. So I think even if you were going to job search in your home country to come work in Canada next summer, you can still do that, because right now most interviews anyway are virtual. So as long as you could be, if you're going to look for a job in Canada, you can be here to start that, then I think you can job search wherever you are, because everything right now is online, as you know. So employers will be connecting with you virtually to conduct interviews, whether that's over the phone or Zoom or whatever. So you can definitely start job searching while you are in your home country. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Great. A couple more things here. So we are accessible through email. Usually that's the good place to start. And then, you know, if you want to book a virtual appointment with your co-op consultant, we can meet you through Zoom, over the phone, whatever it is. But usually email is the best way to get the conversation started. And then you can move forward and make arrangements that work for you and the consultant from there. Right now, there's 13 consultants in co-op, and everybody kind of has a different way of connecting with students. So I always say email first. And then you'll see there, we guide you through the employment prep process. You know, so once you're in co-op 1020, like I said, you're going to get a whole explanation of the process, how it works, the job site. We talk about co-op work permits. If you don't have a co-op work permit, it doesn't hurt to get connected with a consultant now and get that going, because we have to write a letter for you saying you're in a co-op program and all that kind of stuff. So we can definitely help you with that. And as you can see, career and co-ops, employment and student entrepreneurial services is here for you. We are available to meet with you anytime. We have flexible schedules to accommodate time zones and all of that kind of stuff. So please just connect with us and let us know how we can start supporting you now with your job search and your career goals. So this is just the list of the consultants. So just like career has specific consultants for your programs, co-op does as well. And then there's a complete list of the different co-op programs at the college. So I think there's over 50 co-op programs. Not every program has a co-op, but if it has an option to do a co-op, you can apply to transfer in if you're thinking that that's something you would want to do. So there is a list there as well. And this is just a campaign that we run to highlight students who have been hired, whether it's part-time, after they graduated. You know, we like to hear about student success stories. You know, some people come see us weekly to get their resumes looked at and to have their, you know, practice an interview, and then they share great news with us that they found a job. And so we like to kind of highlight that for them. And share their experience with other students. And I think that this is going to be covered in more detail in another session, because I think one of my colleagues is coming to do this again. But just so you know, there is a career services job site. So you can access this through Fanshawe Online. You'll see there, you go to FOL, you click the resources tab, and then it's the career co-op CCR option. But we post part-time jobs, we post full-time permanent jobs, all of that kind of stuff. So I encourage you to check that out. Employers come to us and ask us to post on our job site. So it's kind of nice that they like to recruit students from Fanshawe. So just keep that in mind as using it as one of your key ways to search for jobs once you arrive, if you're looking for something when you get here. And then you will always have access to this moving forward. So after you graduate, you just create an alumni account, and then you can always access the job site. And you can search for programs, or sorry, you can search for jobs by program, because what we do is we go through all of the jobs, make sure that they are valid and that we can target them to certain students in certain programs. So just so you know about that as well. What else do we have here? And then there's a couple of other things too. outside of the classroom, you have an opportunity to start building your professional portfolio with us, because on top of all of those services, we also offer other things like events. So I know that they, in co-op, sometimes we host networking events. I think there's going to be some virtual info sessions starting in the fall, that kind of stuff. We also host a program called Rising Leaders. So if you are interested in developing leadership skills, you can attend this series of workshops, and then that's a great addition to your resume, showing that you've really invested in yourself to develop different leadership skills and highlight your potential in a leadership role. We also host a program called Inspire Mentoring, and I'm not going to talk about it too much because I know that my team is coming to talk about that as well. But if you are interested in getting connected with industry members, if you're interested in getting connected with a student who can help you get through kind of that first year, and it's all career focused. So if you want to know how to search for part-time jobs, what's worked for other students and what hasn't, we have kind of mentors available, students and professionals, to kind of help through some of that stuff. There's also Career Fair, which is looking like it will be virtual this year, but we, in the past, and hopefully moving forward again one day, we get like 200 to 300 employers from all different industries coming to talk to students and offer opportunities and all that kind of stuff. Ignite Career Conference is typically an event we run in November. It offers workshops outside of what we usually offer. So we focus on different skills and, again, more leadership, like looking at who you are and how you can use that in your future career, and talk about your strengths and all that kind of stuff. It's a really awesome conference. Usually there are really good keynote speakers and things like that, sharing about their experiences, and it's all career focused. And then the last one, and one that you will want to mark down today, is something called Fanshawe Works. So that is a program, or sorry, a 2-day conference, I guess, hosted collaboratively with our department and international, to provide you with workshops so that you can be ready to start in your job search the moment you get here. So we'll talk about resumes, we'll talk about networking, we'll talk about mentorship, kind of all of the things that I've high level addressed today. So that is on the 15th and 16th of September. And I think that might be it for me. Are there any questions about our services? Anything I didn't cover?
In the PDF, there was mention of a SIN number. I don't think we have covered that.
Oh, I will actually be covering the SINs and the banking and stuff after Laurel's presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me, Abhishek? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, got you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Now it looks like Caitlin's uploading the presentation. And Laurel, we have a question here in the chat, just asking if any of the workshops have a cost associated with them.
No, so sorry, I should have said that. Everything that we do for you is free. It's all included in your student fees. So everything that we offer is no charge to you. And you can come in as much as you want. You can attend as many workshops as you want. You can do every single conference. You can do all of the Rising Leaders. As much as you want to put into it, we want to provide to you. And sometimes, like I sometimes think they can only ask one question. No, you can ask as many questions as many times so that you get the information you need to help you.
Laurel, how can students find the dates for all of the different workshops that you touched on?
So I think they're still being finalized. What I would suggest is visiting the website and keeping on top of that. And I think that I think it's Rebecca coming in to talk about the job site and the events page. But on the job site, there is an events tab where we list everything that we're offering. And then you can keep on top of it that way. I just don't want to talk about it too much if she's and leave her with nothing to talk about. But it's definitely through that career or the FOL resources, the Career Co-op CCR. There's a whole events tab that you can access to see everything that's happening with our department. And we post it on social as well. So follow us on Facebook and Twitter, because we always post kind of like our upcoming things and things to look out for and stuff like that.
Question here just asking if the job services are only offered to students who have a co-op.
Nope. So co-op is specific to co-op students, but career services are available to every single student.
There's a question here about students who are online studies for the fall. How, or do you have any tips on what they could do for looking for part-time jobs, or how to find jobs that would allow them to work remotely as students?
Yeah, so I would just suggest starting to, if you attend maybe some of the webinars to get started, and gives you some general information, because the webinars cover, what a resume and cover letter should look like, how to job search, how to interview virtually, and all of those kinds of things. So kind of building your toolkit to be an effective job searcher and be successful through interviews, and even how to conduct yourself professionally once you start a job. We cover all of those things. I think in the job search webinar, Maya, who facilitates the workshop, she usually will discuss different job boards and ways to look for work. And then really, if you're wanting to work virtually, you just have to look specifically for those opportunities. So because especially, like, I know in Canada, like, where people are slowly starting to go back. So everybody at one time was working virtually if it was required. And now that it's kind of, some places are moving more towards that and offering more virtual or working from home opportunities, and others, they still need you to come in. So it's more just knowing what to look for and applying for those kinds of positions if that's what you want.
Laurel, there's a question here asking if you guys do mock interviews with the students.
We do, yep. So what that usually would look like is, if you want to practice, you can email your consultant and arrange a virtual appointment. They would likely ask you for a job posting that you're interested in, so that they can develop questions around that particular job, so that you can feel prepared in what an employer might ask you. Some people do it like a real interview, and then they discuss the feedback later and maybe what you could say moving forward, or help you develop answers that can really highlight your skills and what you're learning in school and all that kind of stuff. But yes, we do mock interviews. And there's also a tool for you that's free called Interview Stream, and I'll put the link in the chat once I'm done chatting. It simulates interviews, so you can kind of sign up for a profile and practice answering interview questions. Basically what the platform does is you pick what you want to answer, the webcam turns on you, you say your answer, and then you can watch yourself afterwards. You can evaluate your body language, the content of your answer, or you can share that with somebody else and they can give you feedback as well. And it's all just practice and helping you prepare for those things.
Then there's a question regarding the co-op fee. So that fee is not an ancillary fee. It's not applied to every student. It's only going to be applied to students whose programs have a co-op. Mm-hmm. And because you're in a co-op stream program, you can't opt out of those fees.
Unless you opt out of co-op.
Unless you switch to the non-co-op side of the program, yeah. So as Laurel just talked about, they will do online mock interviews as well. And then there was a question regarding work right now during the pandemic. So London is actually in a pretty good place as far as our COVID cases. We've gotten it for now under a pretty good control. And we actually have seen, because of the changes, a lot more jobs offered in our service areas. Mm-hmm. So our students are finding there's still tons of jobs. Laurel, if you want to speak on that a bit.
Yeah, I just want to make a couple comments. So there absolutely are opportunities. And what I would suggest, and I think sometimes people think, I just want to get a job that's relevant to my field. But it's important to also look for opportunities that are going to help you to develop skills, what we call transferable, that are also going to help you along your career path. So if you are going to be in business, for example, well, a job in customer service or helping people out every day, whether it's in retail or in a grocery store or in a coffee shop. Customer service skills are so important to almost every single job that you're going to get. So there is value in a part-time job that maybe you are serving coffee, but you're working collaboratively with a team. You're in a super fast-paced environment. You have to deliver service with a smile. You have to address concerns and complaints. And all of these types of things are only going to help you moving forward. Those jobs exist. They didn't really disappear even with COVID. And like, so there's there are opportunities. It's being open to something, maybe that's something different, maybe something that makes you uncomfortable to start. And then it's just the way that you grow and develop those skills that are going to help you. So there absolutely are jobs. And I think it's just keeping an open mind and what you're willing to do. Because if you have, sometimes you're like, nope, I only want a job that's going to help, like in construction. So I'm in construction project management. Well, there's other jobs you can do that are going to help you get a job in construction moving forward that might not necessarily be related to the field. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's a question here just asking if they can do their co-op with any company, or does it have to be reviewed by the college and approved?
It does. Yes. So so co-op will post jobs for you that
Sorry, Kamal, if you could please mute yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, so so co-op does post jobs, but also a lot of students find their own co-op jobs, whether it's through LinkedIn or a connection or something like that. But one thing about a co-op work term, it has to be 50% related to your learning outcomes. So it can't just be any job is a co-op. It has to be related to your program and what you're learning, 50% of it. Okay. So we would review with you if it's actually a co-op and approve it or encourage you to find something else.
And what's the deadline for finding the co-op job? If you're like, suppose the co-op semester is summer semester, what's the deadline for it?
So the deadlines kind of change, but if you are looking for a job for the summer co-op, your co-op consultant will be in touch with you regularly about when you should start looking. You know, right now I'm already starting to post jobs for winter. Sometimes employers post jobs early to get things set up for the winter term, for example, like we're starting now, it's August. Others they need to wait for their budgets and they'll post something that they need somebody in a week. So usually we want you starting your co-op work term at the start of the term because you have to get 16 weeks, 420 hours or something like that. There's been some accommodations made for summer and fall. It could keep going. It could go back to the way it used to be. So, but usually it's 420 hours, 16 weeks of work. So it would, your work term would need to start the start of the term. So I guess that would be May for the summer.
But we have to register the company in which we'll be doing the co-op if we find a different company. So is there a deadline for the registration of the employer?
So I don't know the specific date, but your co-op consultant would be connecting with you. If you are to be working in the summer, they'll let you know the deadlines, probably in like March, April of next year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Laurel, someone's asked for you to elaborate a bit more on the job scenario in London, just because we are a bit more of a smaller town, I guess, compared to some places we are. And they're just wondering if it's hard to find part-time jobs.
I think there's a lot of part-time jobs in London. I think that we are a city that has two massive post-secondary institutions, both Fanshawe and Western. So employers know that there are students who are looking for work. They know that most students looking for work are available only part-time. I think, like I said, the bus system can get you from one side of the city to the other. So it's not too bad, or depending where you live and what's around you. Some places even do like rideshare programs if you're wanting to go outside of the city. There are a lot of like services, like retail services, custom, like, you know, grocery stores, malls, gas stations, everything. Like there's tons of services like that that offer part-time opportunities in London. Even like contract jobs and things like that. So I'm sure you know, can work 20 hours a week once you come to Canada. So you can only look for part-time jobs. So like I said, they exist. You have to be willing to look for them. You have to determine how long you want to spend on a bus, if that's going to be the case for you, or, you know, do you want something closer to home? And like I said, it's just being open and willing to look for something, and putting in that work in looking for something. We do help you, but ultimately, like I mentioned before, your job search is your responsibility, and we will support you in sharing opportunities, helping you develop your resume, but and resources where you can look for those jobs. But the number of part-time jobs available today, I honestly, I couldn't give you an exact number of how many jobs are in London today.
Excuse me, Caitlin, can you just tell me about the availability or the probability of getting a co-op job in London, which is somewhere near to Fanshawe College? Is there any possibility of getting over there more?
So something in London? Is that what you're asking?
Yes. Yeah, in London.
For next summer?
Yes, for next summer.
And what's your industry?
Mine is supply chain management.
Supply chain management. So we have lots of big manufacturing. Like there's a pretty strong manufacturing sector in London that would support the supply chain management students. I think that I don't know how many jobs our co-op consultant for supply chain posted this year, but typically there are lots of opportunities in London because of the manufacturing sector that is present here and in the area of London for sure. Most are on bus routes. The bus routes are an interesting topic, and there's some employers in the city who are trying to get better bus routes out to their facilities if they're kind of on the outskirts of the city. So it's always something that's changing. New bus routes are sometimes created to help accommodate that. We do have an area of London that has a lot of manufacturing, so they have put in bus routes and things like that to get to those places.
I want to ask the question. Can I?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, please. I'm an undergraduate student, so I've completed just +2 study, and I'm applying for business fundamental at Fanshawe. So what sort of job availability are there for me? I mean, in a glance.
So for business fundamentals?
Yeah, exactly.
So business is interesting because there's lots of options depending on what your future goals are. So specifically to business fundamentals, you could apply that learning to any kind of job. Usually, like if you're wanting to do something more after that, perhaps you look for something that's more targeted.
I'll add something more. I've completed +2 study here at travel tourism and hotel management, and I'm applying for business fundamentals over there. So anything?
Yeah, so like you can search for jobs focused on your program on our job site. Like I said, I don't know exactly what's posted right now for business fundamentals, but you can, if you want to kind of combine your industries and you want to find a job in hospitality and develop some more business side of like business skills, like there are jobs, although hospitality industry has been hit very hard by COVID, so it's not as much of an opportunity. But you can kind of combine your skills, talk about the transferable skills that you developed in customer service or whatever it might be. So I like specifically targeted to business fundamentals. Like any job could work for you. Basically.
Yeah, it's just because I'm just an undergraduate student, so that's why I'm asking. The main theme is undergraduate, so it will create an effect while finding job.
Sorry, can you just repeat that?
The thing is that I am an undergraduate student.
Yep.
That's why it will impact on finding job, or I mean, it will create difficulties.
Being a student and looking for work?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you
Undergraduate student I am, so.
Yep. So, I mean, like I said, like there's two really large institutions
Okay.
in London so employers know that a lot of students who are studying are looking for part-time jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi Lord, I have a question that what about job scenarios for IT in London?
Yep. So there's pretty good IT sector. It's and I'd say that's definitely an industry that is offering probably now more virtual stuff. But the IT sector in London is pretty strong. There's different networking groups you could get a part of and join to learn about opportunities, start meeting professionals in that area. And I think that your IT career consultant, who is Christina Lark, and you can access her information on that link, she would be able to recommend some different groups to follow so that you can start learning about opportunities in IT.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Thank you.
Hi guys,
Hello?
so if it's a program specific question about jobs and stuff, your best bet is going to be to contact that program consultant because they can work with you specific to that area.
Yeah. We all take care of different programs, so I don't know the answers for every single program.
Laurel knows a lot, but that might be a lot to expect of her.
Yeah, ma'am.
But guys,
I do have a, yeah. Sorry to disturb you, ma'am. This is Umesh, this side. Actually, I have experience of 3 years in supply chain management, and I was thinking my program is fully online. So I was thinking about getting an additional certification in SAP. Will the certification would be considered by the employer in Canada?
Not always. Sometimes people want Canadian certifications. If you can, what I would do, if you have a certification from your country, what I would do is kind of highlight what you know about the industry and how you can use that knowledge here. But sometimes credentials and specific certifications need to be from here for employers to see it as a valid certification. But it's very, very industry specific. There's different rules and things like that.
Okay. Thank you.
And so guys, we've actually, Laurel, you've actually covered the whole time, which is amazing. It's great. That's okay. No, I think it's great to kind of have that flow, and you guys obviously have a ton of questions and stuff, which is amazing. We will next week have somebody else here from your area.
Yeah.
We have another day sort of involving the whole area. So there will be an opportunity to ask more questions next week. So today we were going to cover like the bankings and SINs and stuff. Luckily tomorrow is a bit more of a general day and it's only me and Caitlin. So we can actually cover that tomorrow. So it's no problem. So for those of you that wanted to know about the banking and SINs and that, we will cover that tomorrow. Just because we only have a couple minutes left. You guys had so many great questions, and Laurel, you were so informative. Like it's
Sorry, I talk a lot.
We love it. It's so nice, and I think it's great for the students to have that access, right? To just chat and ask those questions.
And if I can just make any suggestions, just start now. Just get connected with us, get connected with your consultant, and then they can answer your really specific questions about job searching and things like that too.
Hello, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt you. I have a common question actually. Basically for hospitality and tourism. Lauren, ma'am, as you said, the hospitality industry has been hit, has been impacted because of the COVID. So is it worthwhile to join the tourism and hospitality in September?
Yes. Yes, because it's going to bounce back. Yeah. And if that's
so can we expect co-ops to be on time and we will get some kind of relief in the next semester?
What do you mean by relief?
Relief in the sense of the industry.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I can't make those predictions. Like, it just all depends on the way that our economy and labor market recovers. Like, I honestly, I can't give you an answer to that because everybody is still just learning day by day and working through this whole time of life. So
Thank you.
Talk to your co-op consultant. Her name's Jennifer Lee. She's amazing, and she might be able to give you some insight on what she's already seeing change within the industry for sure.
Hello.
Sure.
Okay, so this is going to be the last question. So,
Ma'am, as the colleges are closed, so where we get the SIN number?
so SIN numbers are actually going to be accessed through online, but we are going to
Okay.
cover that tomorrow, okay? So I know that today's plan was to cover the SINs, but there was just so many great questions. So
Thank you, ma'am.
we'll cover that tomorrow with some other local informative options and stuff, like where to get cell phones and getting SIM cards and shopping within London and just all that sort of stuff. So tomorrow we'll cover the SINs, the bankings, and sort of some general London questions.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. So everyone, it was great today. Thank you again, Laurel, for being here and giving us so much information.
Hello, ma'am. I have a question.
Oh, so we actually are going to run out of time, and it's not that we don't want to ask the question. It's just that there is likely a meeting behind us, and if they log on, it's going to just kick us all off.
Okay, ma'am. Actually, there was a deadline of today, so if possible, could you please address my question?
Sure. Are you able to send an email? Or
ma'am, actually yesterday I received an email that if I do not upload the study permit by 12th, my registration for September will be cancelled automatically. So by today I haven't received any updates for visa. So should I consider that my registration has already been cancelled today?
So I would consider that they will likely run that or possibly overnight. So do you have an agent you're working with or an in-country representative? Because you should reach out to them to kind of talk to them about options, because you may have to defer to January.
Yes, ma'am. Regarding that, do students who have cancelled registration get any added advantage for January deferral over the regular admissions?
So that I don't know. It's usually a first come, first serve. So based on when you deferred. So if you know you're not going to have your study permit in time, I would contact your rep now to do a deferral, just so that the information is in the system at the earliest date. Okay, and that being said, we did give deferral preference from May to September. So likely our management team has taken that into consideration. I just can't speak on that because I'm not in management. So I don't know about those private conversations.
Okay, ma'am. So I should not wait till September, the 1st of September, so that my visa will come and then I can fly to Canada, right? I should start my deferral process right now, immediately.
You should start your what? Sorry?
Deferral process is like contact the delegates for deferral right now.
Because even if you get your visa on September 1st, that doesn't mean that you're going to be allowed to enter the country.
Right, ma'am.
So is your first term an online term or is it blended?
No, ma'am. My course is blended.
Blended, okay.
So I should start for deferring. Okay, ma'am.
Likely that's likely going to be your best option because you're not likely to have the visa within time. But if you wanted to, please send an email just to double check that to immigration support at fanshawe.ca.
Sure, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you. And so everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, Caitlin, for helping us with some chat and the presentation. It's wonderful. And Laurel, thank you again for joining today and helping us with all these questions. It was great. And we'll see you all back here tomorrow, and we'll talk about some general arrival services and different things about shopping within London, and we'll go over the banking and SINs and sort of the important things to consider upon arrival. Okay, so everyone have a great night or a great day depending on where you are, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
All right, take care.
Thank you, Laurel.
Thank
you, guys.
Okay, stay safe, ma'am.
Good day. You too. Take care.
Bye. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Good luck.